Rise and shine, Rwanda. It's Thursday, the 7th of January.
Good morning. It's just after 7 o'clock in the morning and you're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Ivan Magwene.
And me, Yvette Shumbusho.
Over the next hour, we'll bring you all the latest news, sports and business headlines from here in Rwanda and around the world. And as usual, we start with our very own Yvette with, of course, business. What do you have for us?
I have a lot of things. I have handcrafts. I have... we have Smart Africa coming into Rwanda. A lot of things that I'll let you know.
All right.
And a very interesting story about film.
Okay. Sherry, what's in the life of lifestyle or life of entertainment?
Now that she ended with film, today's movie review. I'm so excited about this movie, so let me just save it for then.
All right, perfect. Then, Moses, what's in the world of sports?
The venues of the next Sekafa Senior Challenge Cup have been announced by Nicholas Musonyi. So they are going to be in a country called Sudan. I'll tell you more in details.
All right, can't wait. Yeah.
2016. Yeah.
Sekafa
2016. Yeah.
All right, let's get it on there. Well, all that and more still to come, but of course, it's the first Rise and Shine story of the day. Well, Nelson Madiba Mandela said, education is the most powerful weapon you can use to change the world. And now today's story of the day, we look at students from the Art School in Costa Rica that are trying to modernize agriculture by using technology, but most important of all, involving the youth. For so many years, the agricultural sector has always been a ground for the uneducated or even the old. Could this youth have another approach? Well, joining us in studio today is Norman Mugisha and Annette Mukamrens to discuss with us on this issue. Annette and Norman, welcome to the studios.
Thank you very much, Ivan.
Yes, something that is really, very attracting about your story is because you're having your education in Costa Rica. Now, of course, for so many here in Rwanda, Costa Rica is known a very common destination for their higher education, right? So, of course, I think you could be, I would say, starting my conversation with a comestos or is it
Hola.
Hola would be one of the ways to say hi to you. So briefly tell us about your whole journey from here to, to Costa Rica and what you've learned so far. And maybe from there we can get into the deep questions on our topic today. Well,
thank you, Ivan, and thank you for inviting us to this conversation. I'm called Mukamrenzi Annette. I'm a student at University. I'm in my third year, and I'm doing agriculture engineering and natural resource management. That involves many things. It's not just about the title, because we do agribusiness, we do natural resource management, and we learn more about how to integrate systems, taking into account the social part of the ecosystem, taking environmental and economic part of agriculture. So I was the first student to reach at University.
Being the first student, of course, was quite a challenging moment. Give us a deep insight of that.
Well, in my life, I've always learned to look for new opportunities. If I get there, once I got to Costa Rica, I said, now I'm a new Rwandese here. I've got to learn new stuff that are in Costa Rica that Rwanda needs. One of the things, I love languages, so I had to learn Spanish very quickly. Another thing is that I found out that agriculture actually was taken to be one of the noble profession there, because you find people, youth, you find young people who are billionaires in Costa Rica are actually doing agriculture. So it was an interesting experience. I was there.
You heard it from her, noble profession for the youth. Now, Norman, has agriculture been always part of your dreams to do? Or maybe it came because this was the scholarship to go for?
Well, that's a great question. Yeah, agriculture was basically my dreams. And I really, because I grew up in a family doing agriculture, so I came learning and knowing some smaller tricks to use, like local, you know. So I came to realize that I want to do agriculture, but I was like, I was already applying to do agriculture, to start agriculture in Rwanda, but then an opportunity came to do it at Earth University in Costa Rica, so it was a great opportunity for me to go and learn and gain new skills that I can implement in Rwanda and see agriculture. We have a sustainable agriculture, see agriculture in another perspective, not the perspective we use to look at it and say, no, agriculture for, for those people who are poor, local people, old people. So it was really my dream, and I'm really grateful to God who gave me this opportunity to receive.
Now, still on the same issue of agriculture, I want to know, in your own perspective view so far, what has been the change of your mentality ever since you joined Earth School, especially to earn your agricultural bachelor's?
The thing that has really motivated me so far is about how to use agriculture to develop the country. Even regardless, you may not have resources, natural resources, you may not have oil, you may not have gold, but use agriculture as a resource to develop the country, to start small and use a small land as much as it may be and make it to the high level. Feed your home and feed your country, and even not even your country, feed the entire world. So it has really inspired me, seeing people using like 1 hectare, but that 1 hectare is able to feed his family, is able to feed the country, and is able to feed the entire world. So it has really motivated.
Using agriculture as a natural resource to, to develop the country. Bringing it back to you, Annette, I want to know so far your main motivation right now, as you've been on holiday, you've been visiting around the country, trying to see areas, different areas. I want to know so far, of course, 86% of this nation does agriculture, more than that. So your own way of seeing things, what do you think needs maybe to be changed to make sure that we have more higher production within our agriculture sector, since the biggest percentage of our population depends on this same agriculture?
That's a very good question, Ivan. One of the transformation that Rwanda needs, according to the visit I've been doing here, and that actually Rwanda has started now to do. For example, Mr. Tony, the State Minister of Agriculture, he invites youth, It's letting youth talk out their views, their point of view about how could agriculture be, taken to another level. Second to that, I've been traveling around, is that we should, yes, our country, it's not raining like in Costa Rica, where we don't have the rain all the year. But we have different systems like irrigation, using machines, this land consolidation. So when you put the land together and then you have one tractor coming to work on your land, the government can easily facilitate you with fertilizer. And then when you produce together, when you put together your energy, you can always have a big result, let's say a big harvest, so that you can easily access a good market. Another thing is not only, produce milk and sell milk. You see 1 liter of milk is maybe 250. But 1 kilo of cheese is 3,000 Rwandan francs. So if we learned how to add value on what we are producing, we are making a big profit.
So you think in one way or the other we need to do this on, because the results for a farmer here have been really low, and then we need to do something about it. But of course, bringing it to you, Norman, for so many of our people in the agriculture sector, they depend on subsistence farming, of course. And what we're trying to see, for example, for our vision is to make sure even the agricultural sector is modernized. So from your own learning, for example, in Costa Rica, if you are given a chance today to sit in a ministerial position, what could you first change within the agricultural sector?
The first thing is mentality. Try to fight with the mentality of people, because that's the biggest challenge. We have visions, we have dreams, we have even the capability of doing so. We have enough land. Even if they are talking, in Rwanda we have water, but the problem, we can even have the agriculture as much as we want. We can have the harvest as we want, but the problem is the mentality of people. They still think in a primitive way. They still think like they cannot do it. If we say we are going to plant this, we are going to apply fertilizers, they say, no, 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 why? Why would I apply fertilizers? Instead of using the fertilizers, they keep them and sell them. If they, maybe the person in charge will come, say, we bought the fertilizers, but they didn't apply. So what I would do is first fight with the mentality of people, of farmers, to find, like, know what we are talking is viable and is important. Because if I apply fertilizers, you see the outcome from applying fertilizers in agriculture, in everything you're doing. Another thing is trying to put their research centers. We really lack research centers for agriculture in Rwanda. Make sure, like, really, like, in each district at least, there is a research center, there is people who are there in charge to teach local farmers on how to do sustainable agriculture, on how to plant, on how, why? Because the problem now you find, he puts beans or somewhere in the garden or 2 hectares, but he doesn't know. Even you ask him how much are you how much did he invest and how much are you expecting to get as a profit. He doesn't know. So that's a big challenge. So we are just like in the movie, we are doing agriculture, but we don't know why and how we're doing it. So first of all is putting real strategies how to work on agriculture each and every day to see the outcome.
All right, thank you so much for that. I think that was a very smart move. Of course, moving on to Ernest now, as we come up to this, sum up this this discussion, I want to know, what is your message for the youth out there? Because, you know, this country's biggest percentage is the youth. This country has been driven by agriculture for so many years. But this country's way of thinking on agriculture is different. He has been talking about the mentality. But what could be your main message for the youth, especially those that are trying to get into agriculture?
Well, what I would tell the youth is that in agriculture, there is that money that we are looking for. If you wake up, you go to your office, you're applying for jobs, just know agriculture is one of, you know, the free jobs that are there and are having all the money that you need. Only for one condition, you have to love it, and then you need to do it as a profession. As you, Ivan, wake up and come to the office, you need to know that you have your farm, you have the greenhouse maybe system, you have your goats or you have your pigs. You have to wake up, see how have they eaten, what are they lacking. So
basically you need to fall in love with agriculture.
Exactly. And then another thing, as youth, let's not stop, you know, thinking. Because agriculture has got agro-processing, you know, there is all, if you go to the industry, there is agriculture there. If you want to go dig, it is there. So apply technology. Everything can be applied in agriculture and you can make it.
Yeah, right. Thank you so much for that. And I'm pretty sure you've been working also with the Minister in State in charge of Agriculture, Mr. Tony Sanganira. He did a great job, I think, with moving you around the country and trying to make sure that you learn the basics of what goes on around with the agriculture sector within the country. I'd like to thank you so much for joining us in the studios, and I'd like to wish you the best at art school or at university?
At university.
I've always seen art school or art university. But we'd like to wish you the best as you, pursue on with your education, and please send our regards to the rest of the students out there. And, after school, make sure you come back home and do us proud within the agriculture.
Thank you so much.
There you have it. Maybe it's time now we need to change also the perspective on how the youth or the young people think around agriculture. There you had it from both of them. We need to fall in love with agriculture, same as where you would fall in love with a job within an office. You're watching Rise and Shine Rwanda. Business News is coming up next with Yvette Shumbusho.
The things that make you look outside the window and sigh. The ones that make your dreamy eyes look up to the sky and smile. Forget the miles between and smile at the sky. like it held something precious that belonged to you. Like this little secret that makes you hold everything you love. Let your passion guide you. You can be sure you will touch the sky.
Business stories making headlines today. The Beauty of Rwanda has partnered up with ISEC Rwanda to equip women handicraft makers in Ruhango district with hands-on skills to help them improve their products and operate their enterprises profitably. Henry Umunakwe, the country director, ISEC, an international university students organization, said that the training will focus on financial education, particularly bookkeeping, accountancy, marketing, and product packaging, as well as practical skills in ICT and managing the production value chain to help them enhance quality. The beneficiaries, Bengwa Women Association, makes handicrafts and ornaments, including baskets, table marts, earrings, and wall marts. Smart Africa headquarters is expected to be opened in Kigali this week, with officials saying that preparations for the opening are in the final stages. Rwanda has been selected to host the Smart Africa Alliance Secretariat, having demonstrated commitment as a leader in information and communication technology promotion. Dr. Hamadoun Touré, the executive director of Smart Africa, is expected to arrive in the country this week to officially begin the term in office. Dr. Touré, the former Secretary General of the International Telecommunication Union, was appointed to the position in October last year. And in regional business news, a global political risk assessor has said that Kenya's position as a dominant regional economic player can only be guaranteed if it creates a conducive business environment by enhancing security within and beyond its borders. Global Risk Insights, GRI, stated that Kenya needs goodwill from all political players for business to thrive, as well as enhance institutional capacity within government agencies to address security issues at points of entry into the country. This GRI stated will look at harmful substances that could be used to destabilize the business environment, forcing investors to flee or to shun Kenya. Now, the film industry is one that is admired and loved by many across the globe. Films are created to entertain, inform, or even educate. This medium actually is one where people can be able to tell their stories, explore their imagination, or express their creativity. Those in Rwanda or even in East Africa are able to do just that at Kwetu Film School. I met up with Eric Kavera, the founder and CEO of Kwetu Film School, to discuss his take on the film industry here in Rwanda, and this is what he had to say. Take a look.
You can imagine Rwanda by watching a dancer. You know, if you see the elegance when the women, you know, they're lifting their hands, you can imagine cows grazing nice hills. You see hills, you see green, lush areas.
Culture is the root of the tree. If you take the nation as a tree, their culture is always the root. Our tragic history is a repercussion of our loss of culture. It's like a tree whose roots has been cut.
We thought we were so holy. We thought we were so peaceful. We would pride ourselves in being one of the most peaceful people and country in all of Africa. And then that happens.
But from that void came a new burst of energy.
We are living a new era, an era of hope, an era of resilience, an era of a new generation.
The musicians are contributing to the peace of Rwanda. We are the ones to talk about peace because we know when there is no peace, what happens. Nobody could believe that there will be someone who can bring all the people together for dancing, for singing.
When they dance, you can see. You see they are one.
Our tradition and our music and our culture is so beautiful and so complex and so rich, so deep.
It's about excellence, and we always need to be the most beautiful and the best.
The power of music can help this country to heal the wounds of the past. I was healed just because I decided to forgive.
Rather than building on what divides us, we build on what builds us together.
My name is Eric Abera. I'm the founder of the Kwetu Film Institute, and Kwetu is a Swahili word that means home. Kwetu Institute has been around for the last 10 years, if I may say, but we've been actually fully in operation for about 5 years. But before that, we started off as a center, which is like the Rwanda Cinema Center, which many people know of, because it was actually the space that trained young men and women on basic techniques of making movies, and that's how we came about actually to develop a fully fledged institute that you have visited. Of course, the objectives of an institute is education. So actually, we want to make sure that the people who are interested in learning the media, in learning television, in learning literally telling stories, they can come to us, and then we can give them the basic techniques of doing that. We can expose them, we can actually share stories, and then they can share the stories because as said, the story of Africa has always been said, presented, and defined by others. So it's actually one of our main objectives is to say, how best can we actually get our young men and women and our people of the continent to tell our own story and to learn also from other people's stories. So that's really the broad objective. And how to do it, I think you need to learn the techniques of doing it. When it comes to television and film, you actually need as well to be in a position of learning the skills, and that's what we provide here. The film industry presence in Rwanda, I think that's a tough one, but I'll just look at it from a global perspective. I mean, film industry is actually an industry that is highly competitive, it's very political, it's very economical, and it has a very strong component of culture and social representation of a nation, of a people, of a community, of a continent. And so we actually found ourselves within that particular definition, if you like. So the Rwandan film industry, it's a new one, it's a nascent one, it's very young, but it's very dynamic. We are blessed enough to have been at the forefront of promoting it, of encouraging young men and women to make films. Many of them have as well gone outside, learned the trade, come back, be involved locally, regionally, and internationally. So there's some movement taking place. Nevertheless, but we still have a long way to go in terms of actually creating the infrastructure, the cultural policy to fully support that. I mean, if you go to countries such as Germany, France, Italy, and so forth, these are industries that are actually fully supported by the state. There are grants, there are funding, and things like that. So it's a bit of a crazy idea to stand here and say, I'm trying to charge forward with it. It's close to impossible. But as one of my films lines would say, impossible is nothing. So we're trying to do something impossible, but it's within as well the framework of the Rwanda sort of context, whereby we do so much, we saw very little, but with very much strong impact. And we got that from the philosophy of President Paul Kagame, who has literally trained us to do that and trained us to embrace it. however much challenging it is, you know, you gotta stand up and do it.
Now, Yvette, for any person that understands the film industry in Rwanda, the first thing mentioned out is Kwetu.
Yes.
Now, Kwetu has been running for quite some time, but now this time they have a serious package for us. So people would love to know what's enrolling now at Kwetu.
Well, people can enroll from actually this month, and they're able to be taught about production, about everything to do with filmmaking. So production, editing, shooting, everything that is literally needed if you want to become actually a producer or a director. And they do a bit of screenwriting, but not too much. They haven't really touched on it. It's still growing. And they have teachers and actually lecturers that come from Germany.
Okay.
Yes, and they come in and they stay there and they're able to teach them for a whole year. Okay. So you get a diploma, a certification of becoming a filmmaker.
All right. No, so you're talking only about, you know, production, you're talking about directing, so I'm understanding that it's normally people that are behind the scenes.
Yes.
But I would love to know, are there also trainings that are being done for people, for example, acting classes?
Yes. Well, that hasn't started just yet, but Kwetu Film has had certain people that are admired actors and actresses that come in from abroad and give talks and a bit of training here and there about acting. It doesn't really happen that often, but if you check out on Kwetu Film on Facebook, then you're able to actually keep up with some of the people that are going to be coming out this year.
All right. So part of what I normally find out that is very hard to, you know, learn with in production and everything is that you always need equipment.
Yes.
Is Kwetu equipped enough to say that these people are going to get the highly efficient and highly qualified skills?
Definitely. Actually, when I was doing this shoot, they were also shooting behind the scenes, you know, and their equipment is on another level. I was just like, oh my goodness, but it's really good. And they have Macs, and there's the Apple, and they use Final Cut, and they use all these different editing softwares. It's quite impressive. So you know that the kind of movies they're going to be making or short films they'll be making are of good quality.
So have we seen some of the productions from Kwetu?
Yes, I just showed you one.
Okay.
So yeah, it was about the dancing, the traditional dancing. It was a film that was made, and it was very interesting. And as you can see, the quality is good and the story is good, and we're growing, you know?
Yeah.
We're still growing and we're learning at the
All
same
right,
time.
I can't wait. Thanks for covering that because of course, Hollywood is growing up in Rwanda,
Yes,
so
definitely.
we hope that Kwetu takes it to another level.
And it definitely
people
is.
should go there and make sure that things become proficient with everything.
All right, thank you.
All right.
You're now up to date with today's business headlines. Sports news coming in just a minute with Moses Wirikunzira.
Welcome back to Rise and Shine Rwanda. Time now for your sports news. I am Moses Vidukunzira. Starting with regional sport news, Sudan named as 2016 Sekafa Cup host. Sudan will host the 2016 Council of East and Central Africa Football Association Senior Challenge Cup. The country last hosted the regional tournament in 2013. Uganda will stage the Sekafa Under-17 and Women's Championship this year, while Burundi will host the Under-20 event. Sekafa also announced its 5-year strategic plan that will place an emphasis on youth and women football and technical development. Meanwhile, Somali Football Federation President Abudikani Said Alab has been appointed Sekafa Vice Chairman. And now the follow-up in regional football, Hayatu to attend Grow CAF Award Gala today. All is now set for the 2015 Golo CAF Award scheduled to hold at International Conference Center, Abuja today, 2016. Among the dignitaries who will attend the event is the acting president of FIFA and CAF president Ali Haji Issa Hayatu, who will lead the delegation of FIFA and CAF executives to the awards gala. The Golo CAF Awards are the most prestigious in Africa, conferred on outstanding players, coaches, supporters, and administrators by the continent's highest football authority, and bankrolled by Next Generation Network and the continent's leading indigenous telecoms operator, Globacom. And now into European football. I'm not like Guardiola. Don't compare me to Pep Guardiola, said Zidane on Tuesday after his first training session as Real Madrid manager. New Real Madrid manager Zinedine Zidane said comparison with Pep Guardiola are wide off the mark. The former Real Madrid midfielder prompting suggestion his elevation echoed that of Guardiola's at Barcelona, but Zinedine Zidane said, and I quote, "You shouldn't make comparison with me and Guardiola. He has achieved incredible things." Guardiola, an ex-Barcelona player, managed the club's B-side before guiding the first team to unprecedented success, winning 14 major titles in his 4 years at Barcelona.
Moses, the father of Jogo Bonito, I would say, says you should not compare me to Pepe Guardiola. And of course, after the appointment of Zinedine Zidane as the coach of Real Madrid, I knew exactly that the media was going to bring up different portfolios in order to make him talk. Because as I know Zinedine Zidane, I don't know about him in the media, but he's a very quiet man.
Absolutely.
Naturally. But I think this is a very serious quotation that people need to understand, that he's a transforming player to a professional coach. But what's your whole general view on how Zinedine Zidane might enroll with the media especially?
Basically, Zidane himself, he's a guy who is a temperamental person in his nature, because if you can look at back in the 2006 World Cup when he headed Materazzi in the final, and that costed France a World Cup title. And you know, some of his boys also are like that. You know, they have the same character. But when you look at his managerial career, you know, Zidane has never coached a high-level team. Of course. He was Real Madrid Castilla B team coach, and he failed to promote the team in second division. So, which means that because, you know, the time Guardiola took over Barcelona, he had promoted his Barcelona B team in the next level. So, which means that if Zidane failed, then we're asking ourselves, how qualified can he be, you know, to take over Real Madrid, the most challenging job in the world. No. So, and Guardiola, what Guardiola achieved in 4 years is incredible. 2 Champions League, 3 titles, 3 La Liga titles in a row, and I mean, he achieved a lot.
Of course. Well, I wanted to compare him, but time is now. I think Zinedine Zidane has a lot to prove that he's not only good on the pitch, but he's also good at giving the skills to the pitch.
Absolutely.
Well, moving on, of course, to the Glow CAF Awards. If I look at the categories, this is a very good news. But I was also looking very much at the Coach of the Year, Youth Player of the Year, because, and also, you know, I'm not so familiar with the women, but Coach of the Year, part of what we're seeing is the Tepe Mazembe coach, and this it attracted me, and I was like, you know, Tepe
Patrice
Mazembe. Patrice Carteron. When people talk about Tepe Mazembe, it's a very familiar face. Of course, he's going against people from Nigeria. He's going against coaches from Cote d'Ivoire. But, you know, representing the region out here. But in your own general view, who do you think might take the youth player of the year or the coach of the year? Because I'm pretty sure Tepe has been performing very well.
To me, for coach of the year, it's a big contest between Hervé Hélénard, who guided Ivory Coast to their actually second, if I'm not wrong, African Cup of Nations back in February, when Ivory Coast beat Ghana in final with 9-8 penalty shootout. And you know, he previously he had guided Zambia also to African Cup of Nations, and this Patrice Carteron guided Tepe Mazembe to African Champions League trophy. So those are two contestants. But you cannot forget this Emmanuel Amunike for Nigeria U17. Of course. Also, Nigeria U17 were strong. You know, they really achieved a lot this year, and they have a lot of players in Chan that is coming in Rwanda. They also, their team under 23 also achieved. They won the African trophy that guided them to go to Rio de Janeiro. I mean, for me, it's between the three coaches, Emmanuel Amunike,
but you know,
Patrice Carteron.
Emmanuel Amunike recently has been having issues with the Nigerian Federation.
But that does not stop what he achieved as a coach.
He has achieved a lot, but if you look at in the long term, right now, if you look at maybe what has been achieved in the long term, this could be the man standing. But as we speak right now, I think also Patrice Carton is doing very well. Of course, Tepe Mazembe.
He left Tepe Mazembe. Yes. He's no longer a coach of Tepe Mazembe.
Yes.
So,
but of course, his main focus with Tepe Mazembe, even with the Clubs Cup, the Champions League here, might make him move on to another league. But of course, we can't wait to see what happens at the Glow.
Absolutely.
But I'll bring it down to the youth player of the year. Who should be your favorite? Would it be Nigeria's Samuel Diarra or any other person?
Samuel Diarra was an outstanding player during the tournament, and you know, he deserves to be actually recognized. But also Adama Traore challenged him a lot. You know, those are the two most outstanding players in the tournament that U17 actually Nigerian team won recently in Africa. You know, I think one of the two should win the trophy. So we are going to see it out tonight. So we'll see who wins, because you never know until the real results out. In Africa, most of the time, it's tough to predict. It's different from Europe,
which is very good.
Actually, it's different from Europe. Like you know, when you look at the African Player of the Year, overseas players, you know, the one Yaya Toure won recently. Everyone was saying Aubameyang is going to win it, but actually Yaya Toure eventually won it. So it was tough to know what are the characteristics they follow to actually award the player.
All right. Well, we had it from the Africans, so I'm very happy that FIFA is bringing it together with the CAF. Yeah, the acting president will be there. So we can't wait to you to give us the details on who won and who lost. So,
absolutely.
All right, there you have it from from sports news, international and local news is coming up next.
The things that make you look outside the window and sigh. The ones that make your dreamy eyes look up to the sky and smile. Forget the miles between and smile at the sky. Like it held something precious that belonged to you. Like this little secret that makes you hold everything you love. Let your passion guide you. You can be sure you will touch the sky.
Let's take a look now at news making headlines here in Rwanda and around the world.
The Military High Court has started the hearing in substance of the case involving Colonel Tom Jabagamba, Brigadier General retired Frank Rusagara and François Kabayiza, weeks after prosecution presented its evidence in the case. The case started with the charge of inciting public insurrection against Rusagara, whom prosecution said on several occasions in various places uttered statements that were aimed at inciting people, especially members of the armed forces, against the government.
Smart Africa headquarters is expected to be opened in Kigali this week, with officials saying preparations for the opening are in the final stages. Rwanda was selected to host the Smart Africa Alliance Secretariat, having demonstrated commitment as a leader in information and communication technology promotion. Dr. Hamadoun Touré, the executive director of Smart Africa, is expected to arrive in the country this week to follow up with his term in office.
And in regional news, Burundi's government will not take part in peace talks with the opposition. A senior official said, casting fresh doubt on efforts to end months of violence. The talks in neighboring Tanzania were announced last month as part of regional efforts to resolve a crisis triggered by President Pierre Nkurunziza's decision to run for a third term in office, a move opponents said broke the constitution.
And in international news, North Korea says it has successfully tested a hydrogen bomb, which, if confirmed, would be its fourth nuclear test since 2006. It came after a 5.1 magnitude quake was detected close to its nuclear test site, indicating a test may have been conducted. This North Korea's first claim to have tested a hydrogen bomb, which is more powerful than a basic atomic bomb. International experts have cast doubts over the North's nuclear capabilities.
Well, today's movie review, so we can't wait to enter what we call the what? The
lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Mention it. Okay, there we have it. We take a look at what's happening in lifestyle and what's hot right now in our daily debate section. Hot topics with, of course, Sherry Uwase. We'll be right back after the break.
Welcome back. It's now time for your lifestyle update with me, Sherry Uwase. Now today is movie review, as always, you know, on every Thursday, and I have a couple of movies you should be looking out for at Century Cinema next week. Now this first one I find quite interesting, and the movie is called Joy. The suspense is worth the catch, but before I unleash what it is all about, check it out.
Christy, look at me. I want you to remember something, because a lot of times people get nice things and they start to think differently. We got here from hard work, patience, and humility. So I want to tell you, don't ever think that the world owes you anything, because it doesn't. The world doesn't owe you a thing. I was valedictorian in high school. I got into a fancy college. I stayed here because my parents are getting divorced.
You know what you are, Terry? You're like a gas leak. We don't see you, we don't smell you, but you're silently killing us all.
Maybe your dreams are on hold for now.
That's a nice way of putting it.
You're so beautiful. You could have married anybody. You could have married a doctor, a lawyer, a nice man, instead of this. I don't even know what to call this guy.
Are you seriously talking about this right now?
I believe ordinary meets the extraordinary every single day.
I have real ambitions and real ideas.
We're making an invention, and it's very serious.
Joy's never run a business in her entire life.
It's my fault. I gave her the confidence to think she was more than just an unemployed housewife.
I don't want to end up like my family. I have to do things myself once and for all.
Okay, Godspeed, good luck, here we go.
As you grow up and come into the world that has all sorts of things in it, money, crime, betrayal, seems like you're shaking us down.
You can pay more.
I can't, and I won't. When you realize that the only thing you're gonna have is what you make.
You are in a room, and there is a gun on the table.
I want my life to be.
The only other person in the room is an adversary in commerce. Only one of you can prevail. Do you pick up the gun, Joy?
I pick up the gun. Listen to me. Never speak on my behalf about my business again.
To love somebody, the way I love you.
Now, this is a story of a family across 4 generations, centered on the girl who becomes the woman, and of course it's Jennifer Lawrence, who finds a business dynasty and becomes a matriarch in her own right. Facing betrayal, treachery, the loss of innocence, and the scars of love, Joy becomes a true boss of family and enterprise. Allies become adversaries, and adversaries become allies, both inside and outside the family, as Joy's inner life and fierce imagination carry her through the storm she faces. The main character of the movie, of course, this movie Joy, is Jennifer Lawrence. Other famous characters include Bradley Cooper, Edgar Ramirez, and many others. Now, before I go into the next movie, the movie is all about this young lady called Joy. It's actually entitled Joy, that's the name of the movie. But she would go through a series of stuff, and at the end of it, she ends up being the fierce kind of woman. And she started off as a soft, innocent young girl. But I think it's really amazing. Yes.
I haven't watched it, of course, since it's coming out next week. But Jennifer Lawrence is definitely a very good actress.
She is.
I mean, she's the one who did the, what is it called? Hunger Games?
Hunger Games.
And even the Silver Lightning or Silver Lightning, something like that. She actually did it with Bradley Cooper,
oh, really?
the other actor. And I know she's good. So I'm eager to watch.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, I'm just waiting to see the chemistry with Bradley Cooper. I don't know how things are going to end up, but I feel like there's something there that is cooking.
Actually, it's not. There isn't that much.
Is he the brother in this one?
No, don't
he doesn't have that kind of role, but let me not spoil it for you.
You've spoiled everything.
Just go and your dream.
You could have just let
no,
us.
You're being slow in understanding this issue. Anyways, of course, it's Lawrence, so I'm expecting something that, you know, the super lady that is going to overcome something. So I can't wait to hit the movies next week to watch it out. And, of course, we can't wait to see the suspense in the movie, as you just said.
Yeah.
Me, I can't wait to see Jennifer Lawrence coming from from humble beginning to overcome adversity and achieve greatness and become the boss of our own, and also inspire other people to that they can also achieve things. You know, that's what she's capable of, and that's what she's good at. You know, proving to people that there's something you can do even when you don't really believe that you can do it. So that's how good she is. That's what I'm waiting to see.
Right. And of course, this is a movie that everyone should watch. Welcome back, and it's that Hot Topics time again. As always, the Rise and Shine Rwanda team, we are up and about gathering everything that you might need to know about what's happening here and abroad. From the debates in your local cafe, we've got it all for you right here and right now. And now, this is quite captivating. U.S. mogul Donald Trump says that he has put Zimbabwean President Robert Mugabe and Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni on notice, vowing to deal with them ruthlessly when he ascends to presidency. He said, and I quote, "Mugabe and Museveni must be put on notice that their days are numbered and that I am going to arrest them and lock them in prison." President Mugabe later responded to this and said, and I quote again, "Adolf Hitler is Donald Trump's grandfather." A man of very few words, and that's just how he decided to end it.
What a comparison.
Yes, let's go with you, Ivan.
Yo, I mean, telling you the truth is that starting with, of course, Donald Trump. As I said, when the campaign started, Donald Trump was an entertaining candidate.
Which he still is?
Yes, but at some point I got scared. I was like, is this person supposed to be the US president? Because his comments have been kind of not really interesting to me, because I expect him to be talking about matters that are really, you know, affecting the US citizens. But at this point, I think, and then to make things worse, he talked to Mugabe. Mugabe, he is never going to stop. He can talk about anything he feels. He will say anything he wants. So, to me, actually, I'm so amazed at Mugabe's response his comparison of Donald Trump to Adolf Hitler, and I don't know. It's a lot of drama always, as Mugabe says. But I can't wait to see what happens, because Donald Trump has been so entertaining, but quite also very scary for me, because his comments have now started being used against him, especially now with that kind of comparison. I don't know, is he going to be the president of America after all this kind of social media attention, and especially in a negative way? It's a question we can ask.
Right.
To me, there's always a question mark. Why America is always concerned about Africa? Why is he saying that Museveni and Mugabe, he can rock them?
What gives him the right to do that?
What gives him the right to do that? Because I believe that Zimbabwe and Uganda in particular, they are independent. They are free to do whatever they want to do, as long as they follow human rights, and as long as they follow what their people ask them to do. And there is always controversial on Mugabe, especially that has been ruling Zimbabwe for a long time, and he doesn't want to get out of office. But you know, that's him. Why America is concerned? Why Donald Trump in particular is using that in his campaign? You know, what is it going to help America? Rocking Mugabe, what is rocking Mugabe going to help American citizens?
Right.
What is rocking Museveni going to help American citizens?
How does it connect?
How does it connect with being a president of the United States? So again, as Ivan mentioned, you know, he's an entertaining guy. He's a very aggressive person in his life, including his business. He's a real estate mogul. And everything that he has been doing, if you go back in his background, he has always been very aggressive and has never felt that if I want to do something, I'll fail to do it. That's him. So sometimes, you know, you can use words and they become against you. Especially, I don't know whether it's tough to judge him because you can't really know Donald Trump. You know, after the comments he did, and now Al-Shabaab is using that against him, you know, banning Muslims to enter United States, that is now being used against him. Now he's attacking Mugabe and Museveni. So we should expect something. The backlash. Museveni has not said yet, but we should expect what he will say.
My own opinion, I think Donald Trump is more fit to be a Wall Street businessman.
And that is how he has succeeded.
Yes, because he has this aggressive entrepreneur, like no tech
approach,
issue. So for me, I feel like, you know what, Donald Trump, this is not a preach you use in politics. This is not what you use in diplomacy. I feel, in my own opinion, that he's well fit to be more of a Wall Street.
Like he is in the wrong career.
He's in the wrong career. So this kind of comments are going to keep on coming, and then he should be very careful, because no matter how much, because this is a guy that has been in reality TV. Though some people are saying it's good for him because the attention is on him, but I think at this point, I don't know.
We're getting bored.
We're getting bored. I think the comments are really too much.
Yeah.
Maybe there might be another motive behind. Because it's tough to judge Donald Trump because he is always going to have something to say. No matter what, he's going to have something to say. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But that comparison is really scary.
Well, what I can say, and wrapping it up right there, is that his campaign team is actually being very successful. If they want to captivate people's attention, they got it. They got our attention. They're very entertaining. But we just, like I said, I like to agree with you. Maybe he's doing the wrong profession here. He's going to the wrong career. But anyway, let's wait and see what America will decide for him and their fate, of course.
All right.
So do not go away. We'll be right back after the break.
Don't forget, we love to hear your thoughts, comments, and feedback on what we're talking about here on Rise and Shine Rwanda. Tweet us at Rise and Shine RW. Like us on Facebook and send us your ideas for programs. Check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda YouTube page where you can catch all the shows and reports we do. Finally, find us on Instagram, Rise and Shine RW. We love to see your pictures, or check out our Rise and Shine Rwanda website, www.riseandshinerwanda.com. Well, that is all the time we have for you today. We love to hear your feedback, and do let us know if you have any ideas for programs. You have been watching Rise and Shine Rwanda with me, Yvette Shumbusho.
And me, Ivan Magwene. We'll be at same time, same place tomorrow. Do join us then. But for now, from the both of us and the rest of the Rise and Shine team, have a very good day. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.